It's giving bad news. It's always hard. Certainly, I've got like lots of empathy and things like that. It's hard. And I think to me, this really hasn't happened at GTE. It's when I've sort of delayed giving someone some bad news. But I've certainly learned in my career, the longer you leave it, the harder it is. So when you've got a team around you with the right people, with a diverse background and diverse skills, it's kind of quite easy as long as you're talking to your team and keeping them. So all those big projects are kind of fine.
Hello and welcome to the Real Biz Life Chronicles, where we discuss all things business, branding and life from the Horizon Digital podcast recording studio here in Perth. I'm your host Tracy Fryer, the founder of Design Studio Perth, and because Design Studio Perth is dedicated to helping business owners grow with distinction through captivating branding and design, we're offering all our listeners a free brand discovery. So if you find yourself frustrated with your current brand, use the link in the show notes below to book in a time to have a chat. Now, the Real Biz Life Chronicles is on a mission to become one of Australia's leading business podcasts, but in order to do that, we please need your help. If you do enjoy today's episode, and again, no doubt that you will, we please ask that you like and subscribe to our channels below. My guest today left the UK behind and stepped into the unknown, suitcase in hand, ready to start over halfway across the world with the kind of courage that rewrites futures. What started as an apprentice gig became a career leading some of the most complex, high-stakes engineering projects in Australia's mining sector. He's managed capital works up to $250 million, pioneered automation with Rio Tinto's Mine of the Future, and pushed the boundaries of what's possible in the autonomous mining. But here's what makes his story special. He's a rare leader who carries power quietly. Someone close to this guest said, he's gentle without being weak. He's the kind of leader who pours love into his family, by extension the entire GTE Group team. He genuinely puts his heart and soul into making things better for everyone around him. 3 words used to describe this person are caring, generous, and passionate. And if you ask anyone at GTE Group, and I've experienced this myself, he's got a presence that lights up the room, friendly, full of great energy, and always making people feel so welcome. Off the clock, you won't find him chasing the spotlight. You'll find him at a concert, eating out a dodgy knee on a walk, or resetting with yoga. It's the kind of balance that keeps him grounded while navigating billion-dollar industries. This episode uncovers the layers beneath the technical wins. It's about hard work, long-term persistence, and the quiet conviction that drives legacy-building leadership. I have no doubt that you're going to love this one. And a quick side note, this guest requested freshly baked scones, but unfortunately, Woolies was sold out. Darren Bowles, welcome to the show.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Yes, I'm looking forward to our chat today. Darren, I thought what might be best if we could talk about your apprentice days. I know there's so many people that's where everything starts for them. Do you want to take us back to where it all started?
Yeah, certainly. When I was sweet 16, I was really interested in electronics and engineering, and I was very fortunate to be offered a role with Kellogg's, as in Kellogg's Cornflakes, and started there as an instrumentation and control technician. And the great thing about that 4-year apprenticeship was my first year was working in all types of engineering, learning all types of engineering skills, whether it's electronics, electrical work, also machining on lathes and on milling machines. And welding as well. So I learned those, real core skills to help me on my engineering journey. And then from then, I gained a big passion in electrical engineering. At the end of the 4-year apprenticeship, I was doing electrical HV switching.
Yeah.
And also developing PLC and SCADA code and modifying drawings. It was great, really great apprenticeship.
So quite a diverse skill set.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and certainly learning a lot of the hard skills was fantastic, and also the soft skills as well. Dealing with people, in all layers of the organisation. It doesn't matter if you're producing cornflakes or producing gold or iron ore. You still got production managers and GMs that have got targets to actually reach. In terms of safety and quality and productivity, and that's sort of been ingrained in me. From an early age.
And Darren, is there a lesson that you learned, way back then that still drives the way you lead today?
I think it's listening to people and understanding people. Sometimes you might have an idea in your head, and one of the things that I'd like to think it's really great that someone said some really kind words about me. Certainly, the passion to help people, and really the empathy as well, is really trying to understand where people are coming from and what they want. And getting things done in a timely manner as well. I think that's really important as well. And doing things safely and all those things that, you can't just rush into something. You got to think things through. And one of the things I will say about myself, it may come out a little bit later on, is I'm a natural born worrier in a way.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good and a bad thing, but I like to think it's a good thing overall, because, you do think about what is the best way of doing things.
When you say a natural born warrior, do you mind to walk us through that a bit more?
Well, I was born on a Wednesday, and apparently a child born on a Wednesday is full of woes. So, so I think it's a good thing. I think you should always, one of the things I will say in life, you should always turn a perceived negative into a positive.
100%.
I think some of the times, do kind of overthink. And I think, going back to people listening to this podcast is, appreciate the invite, and I've sort of delayed doing this because things have been really busy at work, and the reason why I'm really here is just to help people. And going through different things, and I've gone through lots of different things, and overall everything's been great. And whether you're 16 or 60, we all go through some tough times, and sometimes the things I might say today might reinforce what you're doing, so keep doing that. And some of the things you might think, didn't think about that, might give that a try. So I'm just here to share my what I've done. Some things I've done have been great. Some things may not be as good, but you've got to try something. You can't just do nothing. You've got to give something a try, and hopefully, if you succeed, great. But if you fail fast and modify.
Definitely very wise words, and helping others is the heart center of this podcast, so that really aligns well. Darren, one thing I absolutely love about you is that you always make people feel so at ease. I know the first time I met you, you made me feel so welcome. Have you always been so situationally aware?
I think so. I think coming from a big family and a loving family, from obviously born in the UK, and my family now is very loving and welcoming sort of family. I think it's just the way I've been really brought up, you could say.
Yeah.
And also the sort of the natural sort of want to try and help people. Even right now, I'm really busy, and I might just get a young student talking to me, can you review my CV? I'm thinking, I'm a really bit busy at the moment, but I will do it, and I'll do it in my own time.
Yeah, I do the same.
And part of that is, interesting enough, is, I've had lots of, throughout my career, lots of mentors along the way, and unfortunately some of those mentors are not with us anymore, and I've sort of thought to myself, the way of thanking them is to help others. And one thing I will say out there is, there might be some very senior people and not so senior people. People reach out to you, and give back. You've really got to give back and help out. And that's the way I return my favours to people that are no longer here, that have helped me out. So I like to think that's my, returning the favour. And we've got to help each other out. And engineering typically is helping people out, talking to people.
Yes.
And helping and fixing things.
I think that's a good, good way to live life, and always helping others and also honouring the people who have helped us. So I live a very similar value.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, Darren, what was going through your mind when you packed up and moved over from the UK?
Yes, it's interesting because it was a tough one, because some people may have thought it was a bit, wondering why I was coming over, because, I had, lots of loving family and great friends, great house, and, a great job. I was working for Kellogg's for about 15 years, and I had a really good job there and well paid and everything. but at that time, I had my young daughter. My eldest daughter was born, Rebecca, and she was about 1. And we came over here on holiday with my stayed with my mother and father-in-law, and they had a young son, Bevan. And I just thought it was really a nice sort of lifestyle. And because I am family orientated, I just thought this is a sort of great place to be. And over in the UK, I remember looking at, I had, one of my grandmothers and also a great auntie was ill in hospital, and looking at them thinking, these are real hard-working ladies. And you thought, as that life is, you work really hard, and you can have a tough time when you're in your retirement years. And I just thought, I'm going to do something different.
Yeah, great.
And I had something also. The family ties in Australia was good. I think if you don't have any ties here, it is a real big step, and it still was a big step for ourselves to come over. But I think also within within my mind, and also my wife Debbie's mind, is we had more to offer, and we just thought we had to come over, and we had faith in ourselves, and just got to do it sometimes.
You do, definitely.
Yeah.
And Darren, I'd love to know, is there one core person in your family that always inspired or motivated you?
I don't think it's one, actually, because I think they all do, really.
Yeah.
They all have different values from a dad. My dad had his own business, and he always worked like 7 days a week.
Wow.
And the great thing is, as a kid, he works really, really hard, and because he had his own business, he was working from home on a Sunday, but he'd be doing these accounts and things. But we always had on great holidays. So I obviously got the great work ethic and, celebrating with family. My dad was always good at taking us out for meals and things.
Nice.
And also my mum, mum's brought up 4 kids. My mum was really hardworking. And also my wife, pushes me along, where I need to.
Yeah.
Whether it's health or food or entertaining and things like that, or picks me up if I'm feeling a bit, going through tough times. And my girls do as well. They're always focusing on, my youngest daughter's really focusing on health and fitness and things like that. So how is Sophie, and she's great. And Rebecca, she's always inquisitive on how the business is going and asking about my sort of plans and what I'm doing and things like that. So they all sort of offer help, which is great. And that's the one thing I think that's important. Not one person can really just help you out with everything.
Yeah.
It's just lots of advice along the way. But I'm very fortunate, very close to all my family, and they all offer something that really shapes you, really.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a real support tribe.
That's right. Yes,
you. Yeah, it's great because not many people have that, so you're very blessed.
No, yes, very blessed. Yeah.
And there was something else I noticed. You mentioned hard work. You've said it quite a few times. What do you define as hard work, Darren? Because that's one thing I've learned in my business experience. You have to work really, really hard if you want to, really move the needle or get anywhere. How do you define hard work?
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's I remember. Well, it's to me, it's not working 24 hours a day, because I've tried that, and it's made me ill. It's made me ill.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's made me, and you're probably doing the wrong thing sometimes as well. Is really boils down to, I think, more than anything, because it may come out later on about having that work-life balance.
Yes.
Which is really important. But I think it's sacrifices. I think I remember. I know that my other co-founders, Michael and Ashley from GTE, that you have to break through some barriers sometimes, or hurdles. Like when a certain when we were doing a proposal once, I remember was really ill, and it wasn't. We had someone doing some doing the proposal for us, and we still needed to try to get it out by 6 or 7 o'clock the next morning, and at gone midnight, it wasn't when it needed to be, and I was working until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was really ill, but you're just pushing through it. You're just having to make that sacrifice. It's those sacrifices, getting over that, and also when you've got some personal events that you think you can't go to it, you've got to do something.
Yes.
And it's not just the founders of GTE do that. Is people that work for us as well. When they have to go to site. When they're missing the partners or friends' birthdays, it's making those sacrifices.
Yes.
Because we can't always have a perfect work-life balance.
No.
You know, and I've tried working 7 days a week and doing crazy hours, but it does have a detrimental effect on your health and also on your output.
I noticed that you are a fellow yogi.
That's right. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love yoga.
Yes. Yeah. That's the one my wife inspired me to go to.
Go Debbie.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, which is good. I enjoy it actually. It's
I
good.
do as well.
It's good. It's good for my mindfulness because for that, I should probably do it 3 days a week, but it's once a week. And,
same.
You know, and I think it's really good for my mindfulness and my flexibility. So I do secretly enjoy it. So if Debbie's listening, no, it's good, and we got very friendly with all the people there as well. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah, is it more like stretch yoga or is it like hot house yoga? Ashtanga.
Ashtanga.
Oh, great. Yeah.
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 So it's really good, and it has definitely had certain times when you're going through types of stresses at work. It does.
Yeah.
It is a stress relief. So which is good.
I really struggled with it in the beginning because I sort of thought if you're not doing like a hardcore workout, like on your spin bike or something, it's not actually beneficial, but I just persevered. And for me, the benefit came in just having that stillness and actually, stretching all your muscles, especially because I do running and all other stuff as well. It's helped with those other sports that I'm into.
Yeah, it certainly does. And when I first started doing it, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, when you...
Oh, so quite a while.
Yeah, you'd be pretty tired after the first hour, but I'm not overly tired now, so I could probably do a bit more. So, but it is good. It is good. And I do know I should do more exercise as well.
Oh, I guess all of us, right?
Yeah.
And Darren, what do you feel most people get wrong about what it means to be a project manager?
Interesting. Yeah, what most people get wrong.
Or you can share what they get right if you prefer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's I think the important, what makes people get wrong is this, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily that the project manager is building a relationship up with your client. It's having a personal relationship. I think far too often people are doing things via Teams and things like this. It's really getting an understanding what are the real requirements for this particular project.
Yes.
What needs to be done on and when, and also what they deem in terms of the deliverables, what they're expecting. Far too often, you might get a project manager go off and think, this is a 100-page document, but all they're looking for is a 10-page document.
Yeah.
I think it's really having that close tie with your stakeholder is super important, and talking to them on a regular basis. I remember I was working for a particular client, and this was for BHP. And this lady was a great PM, and I actually spoke to her this week. She now works for Rio, and I'm sure she's listening to this. I'll tell her to listen.
That'd be great.
I won't say who it is, and because I care, every time this person sent me an email, my laptop made a little tune.
Oh wow!
And I'd go and attend to that email straight away.
Oh cool, yeah.
Because I know that this project manager was. Had time constraints and was really keen to provide the information. So I'd computer would ching, and I'd go and attend to it. I didn't need to do something straight away. I'd say acknowledge this email, and then I'd work on it. So I think the relationships is super important. And these days with people working from home, which is fine, but I think you've got to build that relationship. Go for a coffee. Go for a scone or a thank you for the
yes,
muffin
we
today.
have muffins today, so
it's important to build that relationship.
Yeah.
And I know like yourself before that, you come to myself and Ashley in the office talking about branding, and you got to have that relationship to understand what where people are coming from.
Yeah, and be on the same page as well. Otherwise, one's going one direction and someone's going in a different one.
Yeah. And even like you got to build that relationship. You doesn't need to be going for coffees all the time, but every now and then, and build, and really ultimately you're building that trust.
Yes.
And even like with GTE, if we make a commitment, we will really strive to actually hit that.
Yeah, to do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, and that's it. If you can't, you just let people know. But but if you know what people's expectations are,
yes,
and you can really commit to that, you can actually do it.
And just managing those expectations, right? Because like you said, sometimes stuff happens. You might not make
That's
a deadline,
right.
but just instead of not letting them know and having a surprise, just managing those expectations, I found, has become like paramount.
Yeah, because
in
things happen.
communication.
Because quite often with myself is, I do get late night calls from people, and if it's one of my clients, I'll answer the phone.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might say, "Can you just drop everything and help out with a particular situation?" Then I'll ring people up, and I'm very blessed within GTE. Every single person within my team, if I rang them up at night, would answer the phone. And then if I'm ringing them, it's something really, really important. And it's not just me that cares. Everyone within GTE care.
Yes, yeah, those common values.
That's right. Even at weekends, people would pick up the phone.
Yes.
Or if they're doing something, they would ring me back. And things like that happen. But I'd let the client know that there's some things happen and we need to have a slight delay. And if you've got that trust, they'll trust you.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned something earlier, work-life balance. Do you believe that exists?
Kind of, with a bit of a compromise. You got to try and do it.
Yeah.
So for example, quite often, not quite often, that's wrong. So I'm going to the spin class tonight.
Oh, good.
Which my wife pushed me.
Oh, good.
My wife reminded me about this morning.
Debbie's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. Go to spin class. Oh, I think so. I might walk home. No, push, but that's fine.
Oh, good.
That's fine. But I did say that I might need to do some, bits of work tonight, and I might just spend half an hour at home, just keeping on top of a few things.
Yeah.
And I might just check a few emails that are really important that I need to attend to. Because I have to go home slightly earlier today, but I'll just do some things at home. But the thing is, as well, is I used to work every single night at home, and sometimes, Saturday and Sunday for quite a few hours. I was doing a bit of a compromise.
Yeah.
I try and switch off when I go home. When I go home on the train, try and read something, listen to a podcast. Just try and switch off. I think it's really important to be able to do that. And if someone calls me up at night, still answer the phone, but only do urgent things.
Yes.
And you can't have too many things that are urgent. It's just too much.
No, because all those boundaries disintegrate.
Yeah. And even like just trying to do your work-life balance is, even on my to-do list, I don't really have a to-do list. They have kind of two lists. One is a wish list. Things ask me to do things, and I'll just put it on the wish list. That's on the wish list. I'll get around to that at some stage.
Yeah.
But I have a will do list. I will do this today. That will be done.
So you kind of use the two depending on what the task is.
That's that. Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously delegate where I can, or work with someone on a particular problem, because there's so many things you can work on.
So many. I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, and even like someone starting a new business, you could come up with all these different ideas, really plan it out. It's so important.
So on that note, what would your advice be to someone who's thinking of starting their own business?
It's interesting enough. I'm onto this in a kind of way that what we the GTE started. So myself, Michael Gibson and Ashley Ingham, we got together in Dome, just near BHP, and we were discussing it, how we're going to start a business together, and we just I think wrote down 10 or 15 sort of steps or goals and things that we needed to achieve and what we wanted to do in the business. And I think that having someone else to start the business with is really good. Myself, Michael, and Ashley have got some common skills and some different skills, so that really made the business has a big springboard to the business at the very start. We all had something to offer as well. Just sharing the load, I think that's important.
Because it's a heavy load to carry on your own.
Yeah, and then also as well there is an element of risk, but I think that the second thing that I did was, because I was very fortunate, I did have some great jobs with BHP and Rio, is I mentioned to my wife, I'm thinking of doing this for as a business.
Yeah.
What do you think? There's an element of risk here. I'm going to have to work some crazy hours, and just make sure my wife Debbie was good with it, and she was obviously very keen and you was passionate about doing this.
Yes.
But we never look back. It's certainly hard work.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's coming with the plan, and I would say that sharing the load is always a good thing. You know, and also getting advice along the way as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Darren, I want to speak to two things. So you've got your business partnership and your incredible partnership with Debbie.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know what's the role that each of those play, because it sounds like you've got such a great relationship with your business partners, and I know that can be quite complex sometimes. And then you've got your amazing wife who sounds as supportive. How, I guess I'm trying to figure out, you know, what role do each of those partnerships play, you know, as a business owner?
It's interesting enough, when I go home, I'm normally pretty shattered by the time I go home because it's really busy. I probably don't talk as much as I should do about
really?
GTE when I go home.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
I don't talk
Joking.
about it. Yes, I don't talk too much. And Debbie's always asking what's going on with some of mine. You know, it's probably a bit of an old-fashioned thing, you know, like, you know, everything's fine, you know, and I probably don't talk too much, and I probably should do as well. And one thing I will say is, you know, people out there going through stresses and strains, you should be able to share that with, you know, one of your confidants, whether it's your partner or a good friend, you know, to actually share that. So, I talk, you know, obviously go through a number of things with Debbie, what's going on. I'll probably talk about more of the highlights than anything that, any of the things that we're working through or anything like that.
Yeah.
I will open up a bit more, Debbie. A little bit more.
You heard it here.
That's it. But it is important. It is important.
Yeah.
You know, because I think, you know, I have a sort of tendency to try and, you know, when you go home, just to park it up, I write oodles of notes on things. So I've got it, you know, normally on a Friday, if you look at my desk right now, and I used to have a desk at home full of sticky notes. And Debbie said to Debbie, don't hide them. Don't hide my sticky notes. That's my plan. You know, and that's the way that I sort of try and put things away, just jot them down on a piece of paper for Monday to actually think about.
Yes.
You know, and but my desk in the office, I'll have to hide it if Debbie comes in. It's full of sticky notes and things like that. But I do have my will-do list though. But most of my desk is my wish list.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly, you know, Debbie's very supportive of what I do, and she's understanding what I'm doing as well.
Yeah, because it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But if she probably, if I'm a little bit quiet or something, she'll say what's on my mind, and I would share it.
That's really great that you know, she acknowledges that as well, because sometimes when you don't have your own business, it's quite a different kind of perspective that you have. So it's great that she's mindful of that as well.
Yeah. But certainly going through the sort of you know, the partnership we have with the co-founders, with Michael and Ashley, certainly extremely close together at the very start of the business, because we're doing everything together.
Yes.
You know, I think we've had multiple hats. You know, I was doing, you know, business development, project management, HR manager, and Michael and Ashley as well are wearing multiple hats as well. And you know, and I think that throughout we've been working. GT's been going. Just over 9 days. 9 days. Yeah, crazy.
It's like, wow,
9 years.
9
years.
longer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It just shows you're human as well. Yeah.
9 years is incredible.
9 years and a few days. So it's but obviously, like now we're still kind of wearing one or two hats each.
Yeah.
And I think that you know, I think we're able to sort of delegate more things to. We got to, you know, some great managers and lead engineers and great graduates as well, where we can get them to sort of help us out and help shape what we actually need to do. And what I've got to obviously try and do, you know, even though I might know the answer to something, or I might have a passion for certain things, I need to leave it to other people to sort of delegate. And people in work sort of know I've got certain passions of things that I shouldn't put my nose in, like, you know, the Christmas gifts for the team and things like this. It's got to be good. It's got to be good quality. You know, I'm all for the things like that.
Yeah,
and there's other things as well. People know us. I think now we've got, you know, certainly a bigger workforce, almost 100 people that people get to know us as well, and people that probably know me, that I typically let me guard down to certain people, and the guard down is fine. I think with GTE we can just be ourselves. We can still be respectful.
Definitely.
And I think that one of the things I like to do, if I see someone that might be struggling, you know, I know their manager can go and talk to them. I'll go and say, everything's all right. Is everything okay? Now I think that, you know, what people like do, with Beyond Blue and things like that, asking people are okay.
Yeah.
It might just be something small at home. Oh, I've got a problem with my retic.
Yeah.
Or it could be something obviously a lot worse than that as well. So you got to be able to do that. I think that what Beyond Blue does these days is gets you to reach out. And one thing I will say is, whether it's a safety thing or looking at someone's mood, if in doubt, just reach out.
Yeah.
Just ask. It's really important.
It is, and I often find people are quite surprised when you do. Even with my team, I'll say, oh, something might have happened a week ago, so I'll always check in and they say, oh, thank you so much for asking. But it's important because being human has a very hard side to it as well. Yeah.
And also, like myself, I'm happy to, if someone's got a particular problem, if I've had if it's an engineering problem or a personal problem, I'll share my experiences so other people can learn.
Yes.
And I just say to people, that's I'm not in your situation right now, but just take what I did and consider what's best for you.
And being supportive.
Yeah.
Darren, you've been a part of some massive mining tech initiatives. Was there ever a moment where you felt that you were in over your head?
I think, mentioned before, I was, for example, working with Rio Tinto, manager of Mine of the Future, and it was working closely with, it's no big secret. You just Google who we were working with is obviously with Komatsu, and Komatsu were great. And I also had a great team as well.
Yeah.
And back then it was, or could say it was a well-oiled machine, and that's great technology, and that was fantastic. All the support around you, and it worked really well. So that project, not a problem. So when you've got a team around you with the right people, with a diverse background and diverse skills, it kind of quite easy, as long as you're talking to your team and keeping them. So all those big projects are kind of fine. It's probably in the early days of, say, for example, when I was working at Argyle Diamonds. I had a great team there at Argyle Diamonds, but sometimes you're on your own on a mine site.
Yeah.
You got problems with the power station, and no one can fly up. It's having some technical problems. But again, if you got problems, wave your hand. And I think at that time, my boss there was generally called Ray Petrowski, and he was a great boss. And I'd ring him up and just say, this is the situation. I got the support. I think it's when you get the support from people around you or your boss, I think you can just soldier through. And I've done that. You just got to just keep going. So yes, I've probably been a bit panicking, and and it would have been quite a daunting task for me to do. But as long as you got the support and tell people where you're up to, just be honest. And it's if you tell lies on where you're up to,
I don't know anyone lies. You lose track.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so just be honest with people. Yeah, and just say, and certain times of an early problem. I remember one when we had problems with a power station at Argyle. I had a major technical problem. I had to end up eventually. We actually contained the problem. We had to bring someone up from Perth to actually fully rectify the problem.
Right.
So I think it's just work through it.
Yeah. And the gentleman you mentioned before, your previous boss, did you say what made him a great boss was just offering that support?
That's right, yes. Yeah. And he's still touched, and I still see, I think Ray's retired now, but he remembers me. He'll say, how's your wife Debbie doing?
Oh, wow, yeah.
And is she still nursing? She's not, she works for the RSPCA at the moment, which is, I think everyone would love to do that job.
Yes.
She loves it. But he remembers. He remembers. And I took a lot of learnings from there, in remembering everyone. And it's something I don't do anymore, but in the early days of GTE, and, I'd really take a physical, I'll do little notes of if I learned something about someone's family or someone's, like, say you've got a child's birthday coming up, I'd make a little note.
Yes.
But typically I will do that now, but when you're almost 100 people, it's hard to...
It would be.
It's hard to know, And but one thing I would say is, if anyone's listening from GTE, like even some of our young graduates, I always encourage the people to come and talk to me, but they probably don't... they're probably a little bit shy sometimes. But come talk to me, and also talk to the other directors as well. Michael and Ash, we're all here to help. We got to just help each other.
And it sounds like you guys have a real growth culture environment where there is that support, and like you just said, now the juniors can come speak to you guys and bounce ideas.
Yeah, definitely. We've got some. We've had a number of graduates come out of our graduate program. We've got a fantastic graduate program, and we give them the real life experiences. We don't just send them to site on their own. We'll come and work alongside them.
Yeah.
And and make sure they've got the necessary, safety and technical skills and communication skills to actually succeed. And some of the work that our graduates are doing are fantastic.
Yeah, great.
But it also doesn't matter as well, even if, with your, young engineer or, in your 50s like myself or even older, we're happy to help people out. Just ask questions. Even myself as a young apprentice, sweet 16, I was on the tools straight away and...
Wow.
Ask questions. I was very fortunate whereby, the old-fashioned thing where you had someone really, a mentor really looking after you at a young age. And I was very fortunate. I had, some great instrumentation technicians looking after me.
Yes.
You build up a great, solid relationship. Some of those people, unfortunately, not here, but some of the apprentices that I worked with years ago, I'm still very good friends with to this day.
Yes.
So it's, relationships is so important in engineering and helping people and asking, and that's really important, knowing when you can ask. And even as a business owner,
100%. And I know we both have a mentor in common, which is, I don't know about you, it's always great to have someone to bounce ideas off. I'm on my own. I don't have a partner as such in business. So it is good to have that person to, float stuff by, or what do you think about this? So it's been really imperative in my growth journey. Yeah,
it's great. And certainly when you develop your own business, it would be tough. People might be looking at me saying, oh, you've grown a business from, say, 3 people to 100. That's fantastic. But, people have grown businesses like yourself with just one person. It's tough.
It's hectic. I love it though.
It's, yeah. And then you got to have that passion. I think really you got to have that passion, and that really passion gets you through those hurdles.
Completely, Darren.
Yeah.
It's I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember who it was with. The guy said, "I'm not talented. I'm just obsessed." And I was like, "You have to be passionate. You have to be obsessed because there's no other way that it's going to work otherwise." So,
yeah. But you got to be obsessed about your passion.
Of course, yeah. That's a good way to frame it. Yeah. You heard that on this podcast.
Yeah, for certain things, I think, because if I was going to write a 50-page document, I would, I'm certainly not into using chat GPT or anything like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would struggle doing that huge document, which I've done quite a few over the years. But if you give me a certain goal and it's in certain of like helping a client out, I would certainly I'll be passionate about it.
And Darren, has there ever been a time where being generous has ever come back to bite you? Have you always found it always, not reaps reward, but it always does that good thing?
I don't think so. I think sometimes, I might commit to something like in my personal life, but I'll just stay up late and do it. I think, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Something's come along, but no, I wouldn't say so. Because I think that. I think the thing about being generous, I think we were just talking earlier on about this, is I just do things but not wanting anything in return.
Yeah.
Something happens in the future, great. And it's like people listening today that, if they get any bits of this, anything that I say that helps them out, nothing's expected in return. Just help other people out.
And having listened to a few podcasts or interviews, what's one thing you wish people would speak more about?
Just try and think. What, in terms of business or just...
Business, personal, can be anything.
Yeah, I think people are talking more and more about, mindfulness and trying to get the work-life balance. I think it's really good. But I think people should be a little bit more realistic in terms of that, it's difficult trying to find that work-life balance.
Yeah, great point.
It's very difficult. because you do have those hurdles that you need to get over. I think the podcasts that you've done with various people and today, sharing honest views. I'm not doing this to sell GTE. I'm just doing this to help other people out.
Thank you.
And pleasure. And I think raw conversations like this is raw, honest conversation is really good. I'm not here to sell a book or anything.
You're here for the carrot cake muffins, aren't you,
Yeah,
Darren?
that's it.
That I baked, not.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's like it's being realistic about the work-life balances, and it's not really a balance. It's a juggle, work-life juggle.
Completely.
And just make sure you're holding all the balls at the right time and things. You don't drop everything. And I would say that reaching out to help. I think the importance of getting mentors along the way.
Yeah.
One thing I will say as well, because I've been a mentor to many people, and people have been my mentor over the years, and I don't think that really gets pushed or spoke about, certainly in an engineering or a business point of view. I think
so
that's
true.
People have got to have that personal mentor along the way. Just because it's difficult sometimes getting a confidant. I remember my first time being a manager. You think you expect to know everything, but it's difficult. You don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think I've been very fortunate with my my career when I've been a manager. I've had some great people to be able to talk to. I remember I was at BHP. He was a manager there. Dave Daines. He was fantastic, and he does some fantastic work around the world in asset management, and he's a very helpful person. And I think, I've learned from these people. It rubs off on you. I think
it does.
It's important being around these great people that rubs off on yourself.
I'm a big fan of mentorship, advisory, coaching. I think it makes that journey so much, well, it's still hard, but it makes that journey a lot more easier to understand. And also, I think a lot of business owners think they have to do stuff on their own, and it's almost a sign of weakness if you engage someone to help you. But it also helps you propel yourself so much more forward because you're working with someone. I always say work with someone who's been where you want to go. But it just kind of propels that journey so much quicker.
Yeah, and one thing I will say, if anyone's listening out there, it doesn't matter if you're in Perth or overseas, I'm happy to take on another person to mentor over the next, say, 6 months. And I put some simple sort of, I don't like to use the word rules, but sort of
guidelines.
Guidelines it's just half an hour every month for the next 6 months. That person arranges that, and we just have a chat for half an hour. And we typically talk about hard and soft skills, but typically it all boils down to the soft skills that we actually talk about. And I remember when I was at Rio Tinto, I had a young engineer, and she lived over in the UK, and I used to talk, in my car on the way home on speakerphone, and then just half an hour a month, just a quick conversation.
Yeah, and so valuable.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, we're talking about being generous. Could I take on 5 or 6 mentorships? No, it'd just be too much. But if someone's out there, I'm happy to take on. If anyone just contacts me on LinkedIn, I'm happy to help someone out. But even if someone's got any ad hoc questions, they can fire them at me, and it might take me a while to get through to them, but get to the messages. But I'm happy to sort of help out. But if someone's out there, whether it's young engineer or a business owner, happy to provide some of my time over the next 6 months.
Thank you, Darren. We'll be sure to pop all your the links to your LinkedIn in the show notes. And like I say, you might need another business, Darren. What's one uncomfortable truth about leadership that you've had to learn the hard way?
It's giving bad news. I think sometimes it's always hard. Certainly, I've got lots of empathy and things like that. It's hard, and I think to me is this really hasn't happened at GTE. It's when I've sort of delayed giving someone some bad news. But I've certainly learned in my career, the longer you leave it, the harder it is.
Always.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it's not the times when when someone's done something ridiculously wrong. It's something a bit in between.
Yeah.
That you need to sort of manage. I think if you leave things too long, and I've certainly learned the skills to actually speak to someone quicker.
Yes.
You know, and I think I've probably left things a bit too long in the past. And I think, it's going to be even harder now.
Yeah, I've done the same and just avoid it. And then, it just makes it so much worse.
Yeah. And what I've sort of done as well is people that know me always see me carrying around a little book where I always take some notes. And, I've learned from these things. And if I'm going to have those hard conversations, I'll write down a few cryptic bullet points.
Great.
And have those conversations.
Do you find that helps keep you focused? Or?
It does, yes. It stops me waffling.
Yeah,
I've probably done a bit today.
No, you've been great. Because I imagine in any hard situation, and I know with myself, sometimes your emotion gets the better of you, right? But you're trying to stay focused. So I love that idea, writing down some notes to keep you on track.
Yeah, and then probably sometimes in the early days of a manager as well, sometimes jump to a conclusion. Rather than just trying to find out. Yeah, because I remember once, this is many, many years ago, there was a gentleman that was always on sick on night shifts, on his first night shift, and I had to try and find people to cover it. It was painful.
There would have been.
And what I actually did, and I've never done this to anyone. I still haven't done this. I haven't done this with anyone else ever. I started to actually take a note of every time this person was sick, and I brought him in, and I did things in a nice way. You can still do things in a nice way, just do things nicely. I can be grumpy, I think it's a controlled grumpy. And I said to this person, I've noticed over this last, 3 or 4 months that you're always off sick on this particular. I just said, can you let me know what's going on? And this person, said to me that he has a stomach complaint. And I said, why do you have a stomach complaint? So I said, I always, on a Sunday night, I'm always eating these lollies. I think they're called clinkers or something. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Must be an Aussie sweet.
Yeah, it is.
And I said, I'll stop eating them. So that's good. That's good. So anyhow, then a few months passed and he was still off sick. And I actually said to him, you need to go and see a doctor. And they actually did find something actually wrong with him.
Oh, right.
So the moral of the story is sometimes when someone's got something on in their life, you need to try and find out, and there could be some good on asking that question.
Yeah.
Some positives can come from that as well.
And again, it's that communication.
That's right, and you've got to do that in a timely way.
Yeah.
So, good question you asked me there.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Darren, how do you handle moments when your team is struggling but looking to you for strength?
I think it's really just getting hands on. It's I think the true thing of leadership is just diving in and helping out. I'm one of the co-founders of GTE, but I'm happy. I quite often say to the team that I'm an owner of GTE in the boardroom, but out here I'm one of the boys.
Yeah.
Or girls.
We're the team.
That's right, we're a team. It depends who I'm talking to, I'm always one of the team. Just getting hands-on and helping people out. I think the great thing with GTE is both myself, Michael and Ashley, we've all done all different things within GTE.
Yes.
And we're happy to help lend a hand. I think it's leading by example, and doing what you can do to help out.
I know when I had Ash on the show as well, he said a similar thing. So it seems to be you guys are very aligned across that.
Yeah. And also as well is, it's not just about doing the work, it's finding out what else have they got, how can you actually divide and conquer as well.
Yeah.
And certain things might not be a priority. Or even if I can't help them do something that they're working on right now, is there something I can take off their hands?
Yes. Darren, I know you have quite the sense of humour. What's the most ridiculous or unexpected thing that's ever happened at work or during a project, and how did you keep a straight face?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to look. Might have to come back to that one.
That's all right.
But I always have a bit of a. I think it's interesting enough. I've probably mentioned mindfulness a few times, but I think having a sense of humour is. Actually, I probably do know some. I'm just trying to think. Something that's what I can say.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's I do know once that no. Let me just try and think.
That's okay. Take it
I know Deb would say, "What were you thinking about when you?" just try and think. Yeah, there's probably. I think because because in the early days when I used to work at Kellogg's, it was fantastic. All the stories that went through was
I can just imagine.
It was fantastic. 1,500 people working there. The stories would go around rife around the factory, and you just instantly laugh. And I think having a sense of humour is really good.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Yeah. I'll maybe come back to. But I just normally laugh at certain things as well as all the stories from when I was at Kellogg's were always fantastic, always really funny. But people are just too sensible these days, aren't they?
Completely.
Yeah, and certainly people are respectful as well, which is fantastic. But but I think that the team we have at GTE, we're very open, and we can have having a good laugh every now and then is very good for your mindfulness
and just enjoy the day and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, but I may come back to a story. Yeah,
that's all right. Good. I sprung that one on you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's it's you have to bite your lips sometimes.
Yeah. When I used to fly for the airline, there'd be stuff that would happen, and you obviously always on display, so you can't just you might be doing a safety demo and someone says something random and you have to be professional and just focus, but inside you're crying and dying, and you have to just focus.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Darren, if you could give a TEDx talk tomorrow, no slides, no prep, what story or idea would you share and why?
I do say, what idea did you say?
Yeah, if there was a story or an idea you'd speak on, what would it be?
I would think it'd be resilience. I think that the Water Corp asked me a while ago to talk about business and resilience. I'll just talk about resilience and maybe talk about hurdles that you go from growing a business from 3 people to 100 people.
Yeah.
And then talking through how you solve certain problems. And I think having that resilience and going back to what we were saying before about having that work-life juggle, because I don't think there is a balance.
Juggle's a better word. I love that.
Yeah, juggle. It's going through some stories there. I think having that resilience is really important. So we'll talk about that.
And Darren, how do you stay so humble?
Oh, my wife and girls. Unfortunately, I've got some, colleagues at work as well who just tell me, would touch base with me and say, everything all right with you, Darren? And, if I wasn't, because people will probably know if I'm going a bit quiet, I've got something on my mind and things like that. So it's, people keep me grounded and, I think I've got natural ability, not ability, but just passion to help people. I think I have. Some people might not. But
I think you do. No, I think you do. And it sounds like that support tribe of yours is very, they play a big role.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what does success mean to you now compared to 10 years ago? Or 9 years ago, sorry, when you guys first started?
Success to me, it's really, if everyone within GTE are really happy exactly what work that they're doing. And they're growing as well. We've got people going from graduate engineers to senior engineers in the future, and seniors going to lead engineers. Growing from within. I think seeing that is really good, and doing things that they're passionate about. Yeah. Talking to one of our lead stroke principal engineers today, do some great work at Roy Hill. He's really loving what he was doing. He's really looking forward to going to site to smash some goals next week, and that's seeing them having that passion is great. And that is success, and and of that the business will succeed. Then it attracts more and more talented people to us as well. So it's the growth of people.
Yeah, it sounds like that really sort of fills your cup, seeing others thrive and grow.
Yeah. And also obviously once we're successful in our projects, our clients are successful as well.
Yeah, that's the same for us.
Yeah, and when talking to an engineer from BHP only this morning, and looking, and the great thing is, she said, I'm talking to some of your team members about some additional work, so they're not just talking to me all the time, I'm talking to the team members, and some of our team are doing some great work helping out our clients, so it's shaping future work as well.
Yeah.
So if our clients are happy and our team's happy, me and Michael are naturally happy.
And when was the last time you changed your mind about something important, maybe a belief, decision, or direction you felt sure about?
That probably happens a reasonable sort of amount. I think going back to what I was saying earlier on, I'm a bit of a natural worrier as well. Probably, I don't know if I can say what things. We obviously got some plans, business plans that we're actually doing at the moment. It's hard to say. We depends who's listening.
Fair enough.
If it was you, I'd just tell you. There's probably a few things. I think my problem is sometimes I do think about things. I'm positive about something, but things change. You get different inputs, and I think that the end of the day, we talk about integrity. That you do what you say you're going to do, but sometimes something else comes in. And I think what the important thing is to hold your hand up and say, something's changed. Let's just regroup and think about it. But it's not too often that we will change our minds that about doing something that we're really strong about. Because I think if we've been strong about and done our change management, we're really happy about it. But I think that the thing is what you've really got to start to do at some time, and we do this at GTE, is certain things that in the past myself, Michael and Ashley would have made a decision on, is get input or rely on someone else to make the decisions as well, to actually get their buy-in, because that's really important.
Yeah. And if your leadership style were a movie genre, what would it be and why?
I'm just trying to think.
That's okay. I know I'm thrown in the deep end, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of movies, one of my favourite things, and this might be this little bit off track a little bit. I'm into simple things. I'm into keep things simple. And one of my favourite sort of comedians is Stan Laurel, Laurel and Hardy, the old black and white movies, and keep things simple. And by the way, Stan Laurel is a genius, by the way.
Yeah.
Oliver Hardy, and keep things simple. Yeah, keeping things simple. Not to just a genre or anything, and a bit of a smile along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like a
wholesome. I said wholesome and
like documentary versus like with comedy maybe.
Yeah, I'm not cracking jokes all the time. So yeah. But I think it's to me it's quite often I do like watching various types of TV things, and I'm just trying to think what it'd be. It'd be something light-hearted, just light-hearted.
Yeah.
Some light-hearted. I wouldn't say comedy, but
I
family show. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess family with a touch of comedy, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Royal Family.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, the Royal. Have you seen the Royal Family? Yeah, the Pommy show. That's great. That's great. Well, I must admit, I probably bore my family to tears every year. I'll go and watch the Royal Family Christmas special.
Yes.
So I do recommend watching that. It's family. It's a bit of lightheartedness.
Yes.
It's warm. It's welcoming.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favourite shows. On TV. So the Royal Family. It's a sitcom, and it's a connected family, light-hearted show. So that's me.
Yeah.
I'd like to think my wife and girls might say something different, but I do watch it every Christmas.
Nice. And Darren, if you could go back to 9 years ago when you guys sat down at that Dome Cafe and give yourself one bit of advice, what would it be?
One bit of advice.
It can be more if you want.
Or additional, what we didn't have.
Yeah. There's just one core thing that really has, stood out for you over the last 9 years. Yeah,
I think really having additional, having partners in the business is really good.
Yeah.
I think people out there may be an owner of the business and just get a friend to actually work for them, but I think you've really got to have that ownership is really important.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And come up with a plan. And I think that if you use, Chat GPT and come up with a business plan and things like that, it'd be a 50-page document. You just get a pen and a bit of paper and just scribble down what you're going to do and sign it. Just sign it there and then. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And, work with obviously people that you trust. And have got the right skills, and I think that start with something, don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
Come up with a particular plan. And the other one is make some smallish goals. Like at the moment, I'm, we're very blessed for having some great clients, and obviously we don't know how the market's going to go over this next 12 months. The resourcing industry is a little bit turbulent on the prices and things like that. We're not too sure which way things are going to go, and I've set myself some personal goals of in a particular area, but I'm not saying I've got to get 50,000, 100,000 or $1 million worth of work. It's stepping stones.
Yeah.
So I set myself some stepping stone goals and celebrate those.
Yes.
And because I'm a touchy-feely, if I get a little win, that's fantastic. Celebrate those little wins.
So important.
Yeah, and I think people do forget those small, but set yourself some small goals. It's not about the monetary value. One of the goals could be meeting someone.
Yes.
Having a discussion. Or going to someone's site. And celebrate. I think along the way we have celebrated some lots of great goals within GTE, but celebrating those smaller ones as well. Probably need to do more of that.
Because they're all compound as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Darren, I see you put some notes. Was there anything else you wanted to share with us?
This is just little reminders. I haven't had to use them so quick at the moment. I'll probably just all come out in the conversations.
Great.
But one thing I will say, if anything, I did write a few things down there on. It's so important about you go through some stressful periods.
Oh yeah.
And one thing I will say is to people if they are going through some things is obviously the usual thing. But it's not rocket science in terms of what you need to be doing. Eat well, sleep well.
The basics.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, reduce your alcohol or whatever intake and things like that.
So simple but hard.
No, that's right. Yeah, but just find those times, and think about those successes as well that you're having. People say that you should think about 3 things that you're happy about, and I do that. If people see me in a lift, I actually don't use my phone in a lift. I think about those 3 things if I'm in a lift.
Yeah, I love that
because it really reinforces. All the good things, and also you can have a little chat with someone in the lift. How you doing? It's surprising what you do find out when you're in the lift and build relationships with people. So
so true. It's actually funny. How you requested scones. I don't have time to bake. I'm sorry, but I went to Woolies and actually just ended up having a random conversation with this guy who was also apparently after scones. He mentioned it before I did. So thanks, Darren.
Oh, yes.
But it was just and he wasn't like a creep or anything. It was just a genuine conversation, and probably like 5 minutes. But I mean, it was just so nice to kind of connect with someone I didn't know from a bar of soap. So thank you for requesting scones.
So, yeah.
Is it scones or scones?
Oh, yeah, scones. Yeah, so don't really have any other notes, but as I really mentioned earlier on, always sort of ask for help. I think is really important. I think that's really important, and I certainly appreciate all the support I've got, certainly of my family as well, and all the people within GTE.
Yes,
it has been great, and the people who have mentored me, they're not here anymore, but and I think I would say to everyone, give back, because I would imagine that if someone's listening to this podcast, they've probably got an email or something on LinkedIn requesting a bit of advice, help out. So I think that's really, really important to actually give back.
Yes.
Because we've all got something to give back to someone.
Totally.
Help people out. I think that's really important.
And Darren, it keeps coming to mind. Did you want to do a shout out to your lovely wife, Debbie, and the girls? It keeps coming to mind, so I'm just going to ask it.
I do have that down.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh, I'm a mind reader.
Probably get me emotional. Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Rebecca and Sophie. Yeah, it's great. Appreciate your great work.
Be emotional.
No, I wouldn't be here without you guys. So, yeah. I know some of my mum and dad as well. Yeah, and Pam and Bevan, Steve, and also one of my father-in-laws that passed away a while ago, and also father-in-law in the UK. They're all very supportive. So that's great.
Darren, thank you so much. You are such a humble, beautiful human, and I feel very privileged to have met you and work with you, and you just have such a genuineness. This is actually the first time I've cried on the show, so I'm going to blame your scones, but thank you for all that you've shared. I know you're a very busy person, an incredible business owner. And thank you for making time to be on the
Cool.
show.
It's a pleasure. And if I can help anyone out, just yell out. I'll do my little best to help out. But I will reply to people, and you guys, everyone take care. And yeah, I appreciate the opportunity.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.